So I'd love to introduce Mandla Mthembu, who is the Director of Operations, Policy, Stakeholder, and Government Relations. And today he'll be talking about personal system of education. Please, let's welcome Mandla.
Thank you. Do you have a clicker so I can click my slides and and be able to do that thing he was doing? No problem. The usual one, the one that other people were using. Do you have it? Can I have it, please? I'm gonna need it because there are a couple of slides I just want to run through. Now, I chose to stand here because I tend to move and I feel uncomfortable being confined to stand still like that. Do we have it? Okay, good. We've got it on. I just want to share with you today what we're doing. I come from the Accelerated Education Enterprises in Durban. We are a company that is involved in trying to bring quality education in Africa. Our mission and vision is that of an educated Africa where everyone has an opportunity to actually reach their full potential. Because we believe that each and every person is born for a purpose, and there's a need for that purpose to be achieved while you are still alive, while you're still here. And our main thrust area is to make sure that we empower Africa through the distribution of an affordable, personalized system of education, where we equip different entities and schools in particular that we work with about how to go about providing that service, that kind of education. AEE as an entity comes out of the Accelerated Christian Education community. And in 2013, we began to look at how do we expand our product offering. Therefore, the ACE curriculum is one of our product offering, Accelerated Christian Education Curriculum, which uses the PSI system, okay? But today I want to start by just looking at how education has advanced and to show you what has happened in our country. For example, if you look at technology in terms of communication, telecommunications, we are from there. And over the years, technology and telecommunications has developed to a point where we are here. We all have got smartphones now. We can use these to do WhatsApp, to do Facebook, Snapchat, and do everything. Some of these even allow you to make a call, you know. And also, when it comes to transportation, again, progress has moved from carts drawn by horses to Henry Ford starting the Model T car. And today, we can talk about cars like that. That's how transportation has improved over the years. It's been developing non-stop over the years. But when it comes to our education, we are afraid. That's where transport is today. Transport is here now. The Tesla, it's a Tesla, an electric car, which drives at that speed. That is how transportation has developed over the years. But when it comes to education, we find that the class of 1931 is still the same as the class today. What has happened is that we just have remodeled and taken those old desks and put newer, modern-looking desks, but it's still the same approach and methodology. And as a result, we are not producing the results we ought to be producing as a country in this country and as Africa. And that is shown through what we see happening at matric level. If we look at the matric results, coming to consider the fact that matric is a 3-year qualification in this country from grade 10, 11, and 12, and look at the students who enrolled in 2014 for matric, and look at the students who actually wrote and those who passed matric, you will see that our system is actually underperforming. that the real pass rate of matric is not what we were told, which is 72.5 last year, but it's actually 40%. Because if you take the number of students who enrolled in 2014, 1.1 million, and you divide that number by the students who passed matric last year, you'll get 40.2%, not 72.5%. But the percentage we were given by government last year is a percentage which is based on those who actually reached matric. So if you come to look at that, you'll realize that there's a huge dropout of students between grade 10 and grade 12. The biggest dropout rate was in the Northern Cape, 54.4%. Of the students who enrolled at grade 10 in 2014, they did not reach grade 12 in 2016. And Free State, 51.6%. And then you realize that the system actually is not giving us the results that we want. And if you come to look at the figures, looking at Free State alone, when you look at the fact that 55,293 students were enrolled in grade 10, and that by 2016, 28,507 of those had dropped out. You realize that there's something wrong with the system of education, the way we're educating, our approach and methodology, what is happening there. And this is inefficient. This is not working for us. We're going down the tubes. We're underperforming when we are compared to countries in sub-Saharan Africa. We're the West in mathematics and science and even literacy, for that matter. Now, if the horse is dead, dismount. But some people, they believe that if the horse is dead, you might as well just threaten the horse. Those schools which are not performing, we're going to do this and do that, you're going to lose your job, blah, blah, blah. It does not work. Change the system. The system of education we have in our country and in Africa in general is a system that tends to not acknowledge our unique nature as individuals. We push our children all to write matric at the same time, and yet they are not learning at the same pace. They are individuals, wired individually. You see, this cartoon for me tells it all. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. Look who is there. This is what is happening, But if we've got a personalized system of instruction, a system that begins to acknowledge that each person can learn at their own pace, can learn at their own sort of level of understanding, and reach the end point at their own time, not be forced to reach at the same time as the rest, then we'll have more success in terms of mastery of information and knowledge in our country, and we'll see better results even at varsity. The first speaker spoke about the huge number of dropouts at varsity in our country, 60% dropout first year, etc., etc. It's alarming because our students are just pushed through the schooling system like a sausage machine, And yet, at the end of that, there are no jobs. Albert Einstein said this: everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. That is what we are doing our children. We are confirming that they are stupid by failing them year after year because we are busy pushing them towards achieving the same goal at the same time. And therefore, we're saying, we as AEE, we have developed a system that helps and assists each and every child to learn at his own pace. It is individualized, self-paced, and a child is able to learn without having the pressure of knowing that they must achieve this by that time. We find students who write even their end exam in the middle of the year because the system is personalized. In the middle of the year. It's not a new system. The system has been researched over the years. We can look at the history of how different scientists and behaviorists and people in education have researched the system of learning. From John Watson to Jean Piaget, to Fred Keller. Fred Keller actually is the person who came up with the term personalized system of instruction back in 1968. And the system was refined by a number of other people. One such person that I would like to point to is Dr. Howard. who took the system, but because he was a Christian, he used the system to implement accelerated Christian education, where each child has got his own office and they are learning using the materials to master information and to self-test. And when they are ready to be examined in that particular module, they go to a teacher and teacher will test them and comment on their performance. The system is such that a learner takes ownership of his or her own learning and is able to actually achieve the mastery of information to a level that makes them to be able to move on to the next level of their education. What we do with our system in our country is that a child comes to say grade 4, and the child passes at 60%. Say, oh, well done, it's a C. And you move to the next level. We fail to realize that this child has got a 40% gap in their knowledge. There's a gap of 40%. They go to the next grade, they pass at 70%. You say, well done, my son, 70%, wow, maybe it's a B. We fail to realize that that child has got a 30% gap in their knowledge. And when they crumble at the end, we blame the child or blame teachers. It's like saying to somebody, Salman Khan makes this example. He says, it's like building a house and have the foundation, and an inspector comes and he says, well, your foundation is about 60% okay, but you can build the next floor anyway. And you build the next floor. And he comes to check and he says, your floor is about, it's about 80% okay. And you can build the third floor. You build that floor. When the whole building collapses, we wonder why it happened. There has been gaps all the way. Now, PSI is based on the understanding, as Bloom puts it, that almost any child can master almost any subject given enough time and a variety of instructional methods. That is where e-learning also comes in, to begin to complement what is happening in the classroom, in the actual space of learning. How does the AE-PSI program benefit a learner? Number one, there's diagnostic assessment of a learner. When a learner comes, there is an assessment which is that takes place, which actually helps to show what gaps in their knowledge they have academically. And when that has been done, the child is then given materials which are going to help to close that gap. For example, if you test a child in mathematics and you see that they have never mastered the concept of board mass, and you make use of that and you give them material that's going to help them to cover that gap, they're able to move forward now to the material at hand because they've covered the gap. The next thing is that the system is such that the learner has to learn at his own pace. Don't force the learner to move faster than they can. And also they must demonstrate mastering before they proceed to the next level. Each module must be passed at 80%, no less than 80%. If you pass less than 80%, you must repeat the module. Because it means you have not mastered the content of that module. Okay? That's very important to note. Training and goal setting. That means a learner is taught how to set his own goals. They sit in their own office and they're able to set goals for themselves. Each day they come in the morning, the first thing they do are setting goals. What am I going to be achieving today? In mathematics, I'm going to do pages 1, 2, and 3 in this book. In life sciences, I'm going to do pages 28 up to 29. And they begin working on those pages. Each book has got self-tests. The learner will do a section, there's a test, they go, they do the test, and they check themselves. And they call the teacher to come and check if they've checked themselves correctly. Then they go back and sit down and continue and work on their own. And we find that the success rate has been so much that, according to the research done by Dr. John Rousseau in 2013 and 2014, of students who have graduated from our PSI system into university in this country, he found that 72% of those learners, they pass their degrees on record time. 72%. Because they've learned to organize their work and set goals for themselves. So in concluding, John Keller said, education needs a new form of delivery that is appropriate for each individual, for each individual. That is why what we have done is we've developed our online now support material, which is called LearnCloud. LearnCloud is a portal where our learners can log on, they're able to access lessons on their own to help them understand whatever concept in their own space. It's accessible through their phones, through iPads, through notebooks, through PCs, laptops, etc. And for now, learners only pay 10 rands to sign up for this app. The app is not there yet, but they access through that link. The app is coming in a month's time or so, where learners can go to and be able to log on. Right now, we've uploaded over 3,000 lessons there, and we're still building on of that. We're engaging with subject specialists who are teaching lessons, so that learners can be able to go there. While they're studying, they can click and see a teacher actually teaching a lesson online and be able to understand better and continue studying. With that, I want to close my talk. My time is up. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mandla. We've got time for 2 questions.
Oh, questions, by the way. Okay.
Any quick questions?
There's a hand there. If I know the answer, I'll answer you. But if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know.
Are you similar to Cognitive Watson?
Yes.
It's a cognitive platform, in essence.
Yeah. In essence, it does focus on that as to mastery and cognitive development of children, from grade R to grade 12. We've got schools that are using the system. Most of them are schools which have been using the ACE system. Actually, they are using ACE right now, which is the Accelerated Christian Education Curriculum, but it's based on PSI. We support them. We provide that support to them.
Does your platform also evaluate in which medium the child is best able to learn?
Indeed, because when a child comes in, the diagnostic test they do is able to assess all of those and be able to actually see that the child is good when working in this fashion. For example, sometimes in one school I went to observe, one of the schools we support in Durban, there's a child who the teacher had come to assess the child and found out that the child worked much better when he was not standing, not sitting, but standing. And standing on a ball, there's a ball the boy uses, and he works. But when he's sitting down, he falls asleep and he's unproductive. So in the classroom, the child is allowed to stand on the ball and he's working, or doing his work and going to the teacher and coming back. You're like, wow. Because the system is such that it allows a person to be themselves and to actually work and study according to the way they are wired. Okay, thank you.
One last question before we move to the next speaker.
Mandla, hi.
Hi.
I'm here.
Ah.
My name's Didi from Mthembu. Very, very interested to hear what you've just had to say. And I have many questions for you, so I'll find you later. But I just want to say to the room, I actually graduated through the ACE system. So I'm a product of the ACE system. It's been many years since I heard about it.
Okay.
And I'm really interested to hear that it is still live and well and happening. So
Indeed.
if we can chat a little bit later.
No problem.
But
No
it
problem
really
at all.
is personalized individual learning in a way that is not just a catchphrase.
Precisely.
If I can
Actually,
say that.
actually, I've got many other slides, but the time doesn't allow. I was going to go into other issues. It's fine. Thank you very
How
much.
recognized is it by like IBE exams, or because I ended up having to matriculate by writing independent exams.
Yes, indeed.
So in the South African schooling system, how aligned is it now with the matric pass rate, for want of a better word?
Actually, we surpass that rate in terms of our pass rate, and also our qualification, which is the School of Tomorrow College Entrance Certificate, which is a certificate that is registered on the NQF at level 4, equivalent to matric in our country. Okay, but we can talk more after this. Okay, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mandla.
Thank you.